I'm not gonna lie, this one was quite challenging to make, cause there was a lot of things I didn't know about Hildryn, first of all, cause I didn't really play her much before, but I always really liked her secondary thing, the exalted weapon theme for it, and I really wanted to make it work. I think I kinda hit the notch with it after many experiments, and I hope you're gonna enjoy it, so come in and let's go through the journey on it. And I started the build with few main things I wanted to achieve, which is the biggest possible range on this explosion from Balefire, and also quite some nice shields, nice regen on them, good ability strength for the buffs. It was, at first I think it was Sadas, then Eclipse, but well, the roar is just unmatched in this case, since now it has same numbers as Eclipse when you helmet it, but still, the fire rate, the crit, everything was an issue. To get all of it with good build on Hildryn, so she doesn't lose her shields in few shots from enemies, getting the enemies down fast, getting weapon charged and everything, yeah, especially with not playing Hildryn before, it was quite hard to put together, but it's quite good weapon after all. After I just got some info about it, I can happily say it turned out to be just as I wished it is. Quite lovely weapon to use, but definitely not like this you're seeing right now. Let's take a look at baseline Balefire. There is literally nothing impressive about that weapon. Low crit for both charged and quickshot are same stats other than the damage, so 5% crit, 1.5x multiplier and 10% status. Quite fucking awful. So let's take a look at Hildryn abilities, maybe they are some saving grace. Starting with the passive, giving us 3.5 second shield gating. So that's always something good. 3.5 seconds instead 2.5 for the shield gate for the shield frame. That's good. And Balefire ability itself to get the weapon out. Drain 50 and drain for shot 100 and 200 for the charged with 500 to 1.5k electrical damage by baseline and explosion radius of 3. There is an augment that gives you back some shields with the fully charged direct hits, but in the end you're really so tight on the mod slots that I didn't even consider this. And Pillage, probably her like most known ability. Removes armor from enemies, I mean not removes only with enough ability strength, but lowers the armor and restores the shields to Hildryn, which is amazing and very needed for the build. And by very needed, I mean Balefire consumes your shields to shoot, so this returning your shields is just literally a reload. This is useless ability for us because it increases shields for our allies in exchange of draining our own. So if we're using build only with Balefire, well, that's a no-no. But that's a perfect helmet slot. At first I used Aegis Storm as a helmet slot since it was number 4 ability and I could have been using Precision Intensify for the huge ability strength gain. But well, this is actually our core thing in the build. And Aegis Gale, the augment for it, is what makes it the core ability in the build. Not only because it increases the damage of the Balefire based on Hildryn's max shields, alternate fire that it provides is just beautiful. You don't have to charge it, you don't have to base on the fire rate, which was a big problem before with like how can we slot everything. So all we gain from this is extra damage and no need for fire rate anymore. We just press alternate fire whenever we wanna shoot it. Perfect. So we putting Roar over Heaven, and Aegis Storm augment gives us quite nice 1.3k damage increase on the alternate fire and 4 projectiles fired without any charge. Our Pillage has 18.8 meter range and starts off with 48% drain. But the best thing is on the Balefire, and I don't mean the damage, I mean the explosion radius. With our build we get it to 7.05. Best part about Balefire explosion radius is the fact that it also benefits from primed fulmination and the normal fulmination, and the range mods and fulmination mods they multiply. So let's say the explosion radius with the range mods is the baseline one, so 705 plus 44% in case of primed fulmination, giving us around 10.15 radius on the explosion from the Balefire, which is the main thing that I really wanted to make the build around, and I'm loving the fact that it works so well. But let's go to the build, because besides the build we will be needing few small things to help us all around with the build and the sustain on the shields. If you're enjoying my content, remember to subscribe and click that bell icon to get notified with my latest uploads. And without further ado, let's continue with the video. So that's the build for Hildryn. We need some shields, we need ability strength, as much as possible, the augment, the adaptation so the shields don't get shot off in steel pad instantly, Arcane Avenger, to follow up with Adarza Kavat that will give us 100% crit and mold augmented for ability strength for both base damage on Balefire and scaling with Roar and Pillage. Overextended and Stretch are the only two range mods we can really afford, since we need some of that ability strength. Transient Fortitude and Blind Rage, which is the reason why we're using the next two things I'm gonna mention. And first of them will be our Adarza Kavat. We're using Adarza for the Cat's Eye, so we use also Tech Enhance. We're gonna use Reinforced Bond, but it's not really needed. We just use Link Redirection for its survival, since it's Hildryn, so I just put it here, why not? Seismic Bond, this is very important. We stack it before we press Aegis, because we need that efficiency provided with it. And to stack it, we press the normal Balefire and let the pet swing a few times, then we snapshot it, then we go up with the Aegis. And since we're using Adarza, so we can go for some crit, we're using also the Tenacious Bond, because that 1.5x multiplier baseline on our Balefire is so low that all of the crit damage possible is more than welcome. And we will be using Noctua, but differently set up than usually. We will not be using secondary outburst, which I was thinking about, but once we go to our fourth form, we don't want to go out, so we can really be swapping to Noctua back and forth. And that also leads us to some extra ability efficiency, so the shields are not depleted and we have time to sustain them with Pillage. And I also put Fast Canticle for the shield recharge, because why not? And for the Augur mods, well, if you're wondering why I have them, it's because I duplicated the loadouts and I just changed what I needed to be changed. And I was using Furax before for the fire rate, but since we're using only the alternate fire in our fourth form, we're using Guandao for that extra damage reduction while airborne, because why not? And we have Madurai for the Void Sling strength, and if I had Archon shards, I would be using the ones for ability strength. And since I'm not using Topazes, because 5% baseline crit strike chance, I'm using Blast with Pistol Elementalist, Lethal Torrent, Galvanized Diffusion for that multi-shot, and Prime Target Cracker for the critical damage, which is also the reason why we have Avenger and Adarza in the build. And of course, Primed Fulmination, which is the reason why I even tried to make that build. So, with all of that out of the way, all that is left is for me to show you how it looks like in a survival mission. Enjoy! So, take a look how I start the mission, which is just find enemies to get my Noctua alternate fire on ASAP, and then let the pet get my extra ability efficiency buff. Now I can already put the Balefire out. I look at the percentage buff. 21. Come on, hit one more time. I will already get Madurai thingy up. And I go up. I press insta my 2 for the shields, so I don't have to like stop my thingy in a sec. And I keep pressing it. But now I can already rain the death on them from above. And as you can see, the radius deals with them quite nicely. And it results also with quite the fucking nice kill per minute, not gonna lie. As long as we spamming Pillage, we giga fine. Like, we giga fine. I mean, we can be kind of packed into some infested stuff, because they don't really give us shields back. But other than this, it's just lovely. We can do all this snapping again once we fully stacked on Augmented. I think I will even send my Nidus Spectre just to show you the full power. And look how fast our Augmented gets stacked. This is just lovely. We get our Roar up, Pillage again, just to keep the shields always full. I should have put Aerial Bond maybe for the Adarza to reset insta, but he's only in trouble in the first few seconds when I need all the snapshot stacks. We also suspend them in the air, so anything that's suspended in the air, you really wanna kill ASAP, because it drains your shields faster then. But, as you can see, clearly not a problem. The explosion radius on that weapon is beautiful, the alternate fire is just so much better than anything, and it kinda is what saves the entire idea of Hildryn's fourth ability to rain bombs from above, because I don't know how this ever was supposed to work without it, but it's maybe just me that doesn't really know how it was supposed to work. But with the augment it's all good, but it should be a baseline, just like Cathode for Gyre, etc, etc. Many augments should be baseline, because mod slots are not, you know, getting extra once you get new augment to your frame. And we are actually fully stacked, so we can go down. Let Adarza do some havoc. Wreck the havoc. Oops. Okay, so that's done. Now I get my Noctua. Which they didn't just... Oh, okay, it stuck me up. Pillage, and I got full ability efficiency on it. Full stack. I did an orange crit, just lovely to see. Keep pressing the pillage, so you don't have to re-snapshot. We are at 405 kills, 3 minutes. Anything that gets touched gets deleted. We could still create corrosive if you really want to. So that would add up some extra damage into Greeneer. And some armor strip meanwhile. Oh no, 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 no. Give me shields, shields. Ah, beautiful. Anything in range and they are fully replenished. I just wish the robotics weren't that fucked with the loyal mods for resource pickup, the credit pickup, etc. Because if I could just use Guardian and my Mecha Dog, trust me, this build would be tenfold better because it would be also like a safe switch for our village and shields to always keep them full. But yeah, really hard to pass on the loyal mod and poor robotic companions. And beautifully, the Acolyte decides to come. I'm just gonna show you how it deals with the Acolytes quick. Ooh, a Violence. Before he turns off our abilities, we gotta quickly take him out, you know. Don't wanna snapshot it again. I keep repeating it. Give me my shields. Without adaptation, I can tell you one thing, you're not giving your shields up. They are getting shot off instantly. It's a must. And the Gondao mode is just a nice addition, but you could be using Furax if you really want to. 681 kills. Decent. For the fact that they don't really spawn fast enough that I could just spam it like a dumb fuck. It's quite nice. Cause see, like everything I come close to just gets deleted quickly. So I just need enemies, and I will increase the kill per minute, not per second. I keep saying per second. So that should be all from me, and I hope you really enjoyed that one, because the final results for me were amazing. I was really happy the way it turned out to be. All we need is Adarza and Avenger to enable that crit play, because that crit gives us quite some damage even with a bad baseline multiplier. So, if you did enjoy it, leave a like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, see you on the next one.